You're listening to the One Man Show Network. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
Hey everyone, welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Weinbaum. This one is super late. I had a few opportunities this week to record, but I couldn't quite do it. And I'll tell you what, after the presidential debates, my brain was fried. That's when originally I was going to do it, but it is what it is. Everyone has weighed in, so all the fights that I'm going to pick are set. Of course, the main event is Holm versus Irene Aldana. And if you're on Periscope, YouTube, or whatever, feel free to help chime in and help me pick, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. So I am kind of in a mobile setup situation, so I apologize if there's any sound problems, but let's see here. Boom, there's my logo. All right. So anyway, the first fight I want to pick is, of course, somehow this one is on the undercard, but this is a sign of the times changing here. Carlos Condit taking on Court Mcgee. Sorry, I can't get the Bobby McGee song out of my head whenever I hear this. But, oh my gosh, Carlos Condit. He hasn't fought since 2018. He got subbed by Michael Chiesa. But he hasn't won a fight since 2015. On the other hand, he has lost to just straight killers. Michael Chiesa, Alex Oliveira, Neil Magny, Damian Maia, Robbie Lawler, and, his last win, Thiago Alves, back in 2015. So I don't know at this point what he has left to prove other than I guess he loves fighting. More power to him, I guess. Court Mcgee's kind of a different story. He does have 2 losses in a row. Sean Brady, Diego Lima has a win over Alex Garcia. That's back in 2018. But the difference is the level of competition, I mean, the guys that have beaten Court Mcgee versus the guys that have beaten Carlos Condit. Ben Saunders, Killer B, Ponzinibbio, I guess that's a fair one, but Sean Strickland, I mean, come on. So, but there's levels, like I say. So what level is Carlos Condit at right now? Is he declining? Is Court Mcgee on the rise, or is Court Mcgee peaked? And, as much as I don't like to pick with emotion here, I am going to pick Carlos Condit, and both good guys, of course. Court Mcgee famously coming back from addiction. But, yeah, I got to go Carlos here. If you have a different opinion, leave them in the comment sections, of course. Germaine Durandame, the Iron Lady versus Juliana Pena. So Juliana Pena, by the way, I got to see at Adam Hunter's show in Vegas right before all this COVID stuff broke loose. She looked good. She did just have a child, but it was very interesting. Now here she is fighting several months later. When did I see Adam Hunter? I guess that would have had to have been, God, when did everything break loose here? It's February. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know who Adam Hunter is, that's the MMA roasted guy. Funny guy. But the Iron Lady, Germaine Durandame, of course, just lost to Amanda Nunes for the title. A whole bunch of wins. Her last loss, amazingly enough, was Amanda Nunes back in 2013. And, let's not forget, she was the featherweight champion against Holm, but there was some questions whether or not she was hitting Holly after the bell. So yeah, that's a tough one. But yeah, the Iron Lady, this is tough. And Julia Pena has had quite the layoff here. I don't think she has fought since Nino Moicano back in July, so it's been over a year. But she's got some killers too. She did get subbed by Valentina Shevchenko, but beat Kat Zingano, beat Jessica Ai. So before that, not really any really big name people, but the Iron Lady's been in there. I mean, she just fought December, which is, I guess that was longer than I thought it was. So December is, getting right up there 10 months ago. So very interesting here. But the Iron Lady, Germaine Durandame, has been more active. I wouldn't be surprised, though, depending on what Juliana's level of training is, if she pulls off this upset. So There you go. And like I said, if you are on Periscope or YouTube, let me know the comments are working, because I see lots of viewers, but everyone's scared. Everyone's scared to say anything. All right, next up, Jorgon de Castro versus Carlos Boyie Felipe. Jorgon de Castro. So apparently Jorgon de Castro was quite the favorite in this, and I'm not really sure why. You know, he hasn't really fought a who's of fighters. He did lose to Greg Hardy, thanks, I think, to Daniel Cormier's ring advice. So he said he could hear Cormier talking in the background, giving him advice, which I thought was hilarious. And this is when all this COVID stuff first started happening. This is in May, of course, of this year. Carlos Felipe, kind of the same thing. Lost to Sergey Spivak. I don't know that this is such a huge gap. I mean, the odds makers, I heard like 800 to 1 or something crazy in favor of De Castro, and I don't understand it. I mean, he does have more UFC fights under his belt than Carlos, and of course 2 wins, and I do think he's going to win this fight, but the odds, I don't think, tell the story. All right, main event of the evening, Holm, Irene Aldana. So Holm, she just lost to Amanda Nunes. I don't think she's fought since. No, I take that back. She beat Raquel Pennington in a unanimous decision back in January. Before that, July of last year, she got head kicked, knocked out by Amanda Nunes, beats Megan Anderson at featherweight, loses a decision. She went all the way to decision with Chris Cyborg. I don't think she's a 145 pounder by any means, but she can hang. And then just lost. She did beat Betch Korea, but then, man, it's just been kind of a tough road for her. And, I don't know, she was a champion. She beat Ronda Rousey, but then immediately lost the championship to Miesha Tate. Let's take a look at Irene Aldana here. I think Irene Aldana, I don't know who else there is. If she wins this, she probably does get Amanda Nunes next, because Amanda's pretty much beaten everyone else. She's already beaten Germaine Durandame. Julianne Penn maybe is a possibility. I don't think she's 1 win away. I think it's probably more than 1 win. But Irene just beat Caitlin Vieira, Vanessa Milo. She has a loss to Raquel Pennington, a split decision. She has wins over Betch Korea also. But her resume is not quite as impressive as Holly, and I think Holly might be the dog here, but I like Holly in this fight, and we'll see. And if she doesn't win this fight, I don't know what's next for Holly, honestly. I don't think she can make 125 pounds, but you never know. But that's it. So thanks to all of you that have watched, lots of viewers, and I appreciate that. Everyone's super quiet, and I hope that's not a problem on my end, but I have a feeling it could be. But until next time, we'll see you next week. Shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.